Welcome back to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video we will be drawing together our solid geometry question from grade 10 workbook. Okay, and looking at our question, we are given the front view of an equilateral square pyramid. Okay, so this time around we are focusing on a square pyramid, and then we can see that by our apex here. Okay, and then the base side length of the equilateral square pyramid is 40 millimeter. The starting position S. Okay, this is what we are given. You must draw to scale 1:1 the front view, top view, and the right view. You must also know that plane is very important. Use the start position S on the diagram sheet, show construction lines, and also show your hidden detail lines. Okay, while we are at our instructions, because we are required to draw the given front view, we are going to use our hashtag method. And then from our front, you know that this is top, left, and right. Okay, this is how we plan our drawing. We must have our top and our right view. It means our right must be on this side. Okay, so moving on, you can see that our square pyramid is at an angle of 60 degrees, and we are given a length from the base to our apex. Okay, so what you can do is that you can simply start by from starting position S at an angle of 60 degrees. Okay, starting position S, angle of 60, and then here on the line that we just constructed, we are just going to measure our foot. This is our foot, and then here in 20 we are going to have our center line. Okay, and now since I know that my line is going to my right at an angle of 60, I know that my line is going to my left will be at an angle of 30. So here it will be my center line, just like that. And then this is my XY line that I'm creating now. X, Y. Every time when we are given a solid, you must have our auxiliary view. Okay, and then on my center line, I can now go and measure that 51 I am given here. Okay, so I am measuring my 51. This is my 51. Okay, right, now that I have my square pyramid for front view, I have to also create my auxiliary view. Okay, I'm constructing from my front view with an angle of 30, and then 5 millimeter or 10 millimeter away from my XY line. Here I am starting my square. Okay, remember all sides need to be equal. So with this measurement of 40, I'm going to have 40 here. Okay, so now this will be my auxiliary view for square pyramid. Because also this is a square pyramid, I also need to have my apex coming from all my 4 points. Okay, here I have my apex here, so I can label this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I hope you guys can see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So coming back, this is 1, 2, we're having 3 and 4, and then our apex is 5. Okay, so now I need to know that after my auxiliary view, what am I going to do? Because they want my right view. Okay, I can create my XY line 5 millimeter, 10 millimeter away. Then also here I can create my another X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, so the method that we use to get our required views once we have our auxiliary view is measure from auxiliary view, we skip our front view, and we measure the required view, just like that. Okay, so we are going to construct perpendicular to our XY lines from our front view. Okay, from each and every point that we have. Okay, so this is our all labelings, and also from our front view to our top view. So this is how we follow our method. We stand on our XY line, we measure auxiliary view number 1 and number 4 the same distance away from our XY line. So coming on my construction lines, I am going to look for number 1 and number 4. So standing on XY line, this is number 1, and also this is number 4. Okay, I am done with 1 and 4 for my top view. Then I can also take that measurement standing on XY line, going to measure on my right view. Okay, on construction line 1 and 4. Then in the meantime, I can also go and measure from XY line to my point 2 on my auxiliary view. Then after my point 2, I can also see that from XY line to point 3 is the same distance away from like point 2. Okay, so standing on XY line 2, standing on XY line 3. Okay, so let me quickly just extend my lines. So here it will have 2 and we have 3. Okay, and then the same measurement of 2 and 3, I'm also taking it on my right view. Okay, just like that. And then the last one, it will be from my XY line to my point 5. XY line, point 5. Then also come and look for construction line 5 on our top view. So we have our 5 and our 5. Okay, here we have our 2, 3. Right, so now I was saying yesterday, if you want to know where to use your solid lines or your hidden detail lines, because this is a right view, imagine that you are viewing this front view coming from this side. Okay, then coming from this side, we are going to see this. Remember here we have a square, so we are going to see this full square. Okay, so coming here on my right, I am going to use my solid lines on my square prism, on my square pyramid, I mean. And then now you ask yourself, coming from this side, are you going to see from point 1 and 2 going to 5? Yes, we are. So if we are going to see them, we can use our solid lines. Okay, And what about coming from this side? Are you going to see 0.3 and 4 going to 5? Definitely no. Okay, so if you are not going to see 0.3 and 5, you can use your hidden detail lines. Because all the points are going back to 5. Okay, so now you are done with our right view. And now you come here and ask yourself that coming from this side, because this is a top view, you are viewing our front view coming from the top. So with that said, you can come and ask yourself, coming from this side, are you going to be able to see our square? Okay, no, this square is going to be in what? Hidden detail lines. Okay, it's fine. But we know that from 1, we are going to see from 1 going to 2. Okay, it's going to be solid from 1 going to 2. It means from here going to here, we are going to see. Okay, and then from 1 going to 5, we are going to see. Yes. Okay, from 1 going to 5, and also from 2 going to 5. Okay, and now from 4 going to 5, yes, we are going to see from 4 going to 5. Are we going to see from 3 going to 5? Definitely so. Okay, and then now you can join all our points, and then from 3 going to 4, which is from 3 going to 4, are you going to see? Definitely no. So we can use our hidden detail lines here, and then that's how we get our required views. Now you have answered our question. You have our right view, our top view, and the given front view. Okay, and then thank you for taking time to watch this wonderful video.